It's okay, yeah, plastic cup is fine too. Plastic, please. No, no, no. Thank you. Hare Krishna. I thank each and every one of you from the bottom of my heart for coming today for the Bhakti Sastri class. And not sure if somebody is online, but you can just say Haribol if you are online. Anybody online? You have to press *6 to unmute.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, this is Vittal here, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna Vittal, Dandavat Pranam, Jai Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you Prabhu for your class.
Anybody else? It's the efforts of you can say the untiring efforts of Ramananda Sakha Prabhu that we have this audio system set up, that we can communicate with all the people worldwide. And I just want to acknowledge his service that he has done to this temple to make this really beneficial to everybody, those who can't make it. No, not everybody is like Aditi who will drive all the way from Sacramento. She drove all the way from Sacramento for the class today. So, thank you.
Actually, many people watch it online, but they cannot speak. That's why, I'm sure there are a lot of others.
Right. And also many devotees, they say, I watch the class afterwards. Yeah. So today we'll cover 4 chapters. We'll go a little faster. I have been going a little slow. I beg for your forgiveness. So let's start with our usual Mangalacharan prayers before we start. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tvam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhayascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasa Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Yotinam chayata yoni yunau cha yuvato yata manobhiramate tadvam manome ramatam sahi. Mattulyo nasti papatma na paradye cha kaschana parihare pilajjame kimruve purushottama. Adadana-strinam dantair idam yache punah punah Srimadrupa padam bhojo dhulisyam janma janmani rajoham syam bhave bhave. Hare Krishna. So, we are going to discuss the 8th chapter. 8th chapter is an expansion or an elaboration of different points which are mentioned in which chapter. It's the 6th chapter. So if we go read the 6th chapter, that's on page, for those who are online, we are going to turn our attention to page 6, chapter 6, and that's on page 53. Thank you, Michael. You are on the ball. Yes. Go for it. So, if you can see, there are 64 items which are mentioned here. And Natalie had a question she sent me via email about the question was that the first three are the most important, and then the last 5 you said were the most important. Can you please elaborate? You can use the mic for those who are online.
Actually, I'm trying to remember. It was something I read where one place in here it says the first 3 are the most important. Then I read somewhere else where a different 5 were the most important for devotional service, and they're different.
Right.
So I'm trying to remember. The first 3 are here, and I'm trying to remember the other. 56. It was with the 5.
Right.
Oh, yeah. There are 5 here that are different from those 3.
Right.
So what is the difference? And like if you said which of the 64 are the most important, I thought it was taking shelter and then getting initiated and serving.
Right. So I think you are referring to page 54 and the 3rd paragraph on page 54. Right?
Yeah, so those are the first 3 are the most important. And then...
Let me read that for the benefit of others.
Okay.
So, let me read the whole paragraph. It's a small paragraph. Without following the above... Or why don't you read that whole paragraph? Without following...
Me?
Yeah,
okay.
Please.
Okay. Without following the above-mentioned 10 principles, one cannot properly elevate himself to the platform of sadhana bhakti, or devotional service and practice. Altogether, Srila Rupa Goswami mentions 20 items, and all of them are very important. Out of the 20, the first 3, namely accepting the shelter of a bona fide spiritual master, taking initiation from him, and serving him with respect and reverence, are the most important.
So, if you can see, those 20 items, the first 10 are do's and the second 10 are don'ts.
Right.
So, out of those 20, the most important items are the 3 which you mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
But when you take the 64 items, out of those, the 5 are most important, and I don't remember the exact line of your email, but associating with devotees does include those 3 items.
It does?
Yes.
Oh.
So if you, for those who are online, any confusion? Because I'm quickly going back and
So
forth.
can
Let
I
me know.
read for the people online too, at the bottom of page 56,
Please.
what those 5 are? Okay.
Please.
So let's see. So I'll start from the paragraph or just in the middle? Is that right? So the last paragraph, page 56. So now the total regulative principles come to an aggregate of 64 items. As we have mentioned, the first are the primary 10 regulative principles. So those are the do's, right?
Right.
Then come the secondary 10 regulative principles, the don'ts, and added to these are 44 other activities.
Right.
So altogether, there are 64 items for discharging the regulative practice of devotional service.
Right.
And this is for my question. Out of these 64 items, 5 items, namely worshipping the deity, hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, associating among the devotees, Sankirtana, and living in Mathura are very important.
Right. So the reconciliation, or the way you can reconcile, is that in the 5 items, association of devotees is important, and the 3 items, namely taking shelter of a bona fide spiritual master, accepting initiation from him, and then serving him with faith and reverence, are included in that.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you. Okay. So any other more questions? I think we'll cover the subject matter and then we'll come back to questions. So we are continuing with the list of the items which are mentioned here. And the next few chapters, what we have been discussing is Srila Rupa Goswami quoting scriptures to back up his statements. And in few cases, he has subdivided those categories. For example, serving Lord as a friend. Are there any subcategories? Those kind of things. Let's... Actually, I wanted this to be more of a interactive format, but I think let me just discuss few points. So on the 8th chapter, we see that there are a list of offenses that needs to be avoided as a part of deity worship or as being in the temple. So if you can see, there are about... I think totally there are about 64, if I remember right. If you see the first list, there are 32 items, and then 32 plus 29 is 61. So there are 61, you can say, regulations that one shouldn't do. And then the other point here is, based on the time, place, circumstances, some rules may be applicable and some rules may not be applicable. I'll tell you an apparent contradiction in these rules. Let's take on page 69, we are on page 69, and then item number 21. So in front of the deities, one should not eulogize or praise anyone before the deities. So, one should not eulogize or praise anyone else before the deities. Then, the other thing is, so the other thing is, there is one more rule, let me look up. One should not fail to offer praise to one's spiritual master. Here, 29 on page 70. On page 70, 29. And 30, we are there? So one should not offer obeisances silently to the spiritual master, or in other words, one should recite aloud the prayers to the spiritual masters while offering obeisances. And 30 is, one should not fail to offer some praise in presence of the spiritual master. So what if the spiritual master is in front of the deity? Did you get the conundrum?
In presence of the spiritual master, but like praising whom? Is it like praising the
So
spirit?
if the idea is that you should, if you see the spiritual master, then you should not fail to offer some praise to him. But if that spiritual master is in front of the deity, you cannot praise anybody else except the deities, which I am guilty of today. I'll try to avoid that. But the point is, you get the conundrum. You should offer some words of praise for your spiritual master when you see him. It can be, the words of praise can be either just pranam mantra prayers or just offering your obeisances. You have to say something to your spiritual master in words of praise. But if spiritual master is in front of the deity, you cannot praise anybody else except the deity. See the conundrum there? So there are a few ways to resolve this. One is either you offer praise to your spiritual master or respect silently, in terms of at least offering obeisances to him, or praising the spiritual master as a confidential associate of the Lord for the pleasure of deity. You don't praise the qualities of spiritual master as a standalone, though he may have unlimited number of qualities, but if you praise him as part and parcel of Krishna, then Krishna is also pleased. Hey, this devotee is recognizing my devotee. Or this visitor to my temple. Actually, Krishna sees that those who are his devotees are very confidential. He says, so this visitor who is coming to the temple recognizes my devotee, so I am happy. I am guilty too, right now, so I shouldn't do that. See, the teacher learns. Ha ha ha. Any other questions? So these. Hare Krishna.
Please accept my humble obeisances. I have a quick question in this regard, which you mentioned.
Sri Kumar Prabhu, your voice is a little low, so if you can either speak loud.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, can you hear me?
Yes, Prabhu, much better.
Thank you. Please accept my humble obeisances, Prabhuji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. I have a quick question in this regard.
Yes, Prabhuji.
When we say spiritual master, so does it also include any spiritual master, Prabhuji, or only because there are so many Siksha and Diksha gurus? So how would that work, Prabhuji? Especially like when you visit temples like Mayapur or Vrindavan, where you might see so many initiating spiritual masters at the same time in front of the deity.
Yeah. Right. So first of all, please accept my humble obeisances to all Guru Prabhupada. The thing is, spiritual master is a principle. So there are different types of spiritual masters, as you rightly mentioned. That is the initiating spiritual master, the instructing spiritual master, and the path, the spiritual master who shows you the path. All of these are spiritual masters. So while all of them have to be given the same level of respect, but one way to, either, for example, if there are many spiritual masters in front of the deity, then obviously you need to offer to everybody from a distance, but in particular you may have to go up to your spiritual master and maybe personally offer him, some words or something like that. But there is no hard and fast etiquette. The other thing, I did read Rupa Goswami's Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu to actually get more into it. Please understand that Rupa Goswami has not mentioned any of the offenses which are mentioned here. Not a single one of them. He just said you should avoid the offenses. It is Jiva Goswami, in commentary to this verse, has listed all the items from Hari Bhakti Vilas. These are all the items from Hari Bhakti Vilas that have been mentioned by Jiva Goswami in his commentary. So we do not have an exact. Again, the details can differ from place to place and person to person. And maybe your spiritual master doesn't like getting praises in person. So it's more of a personal interactions with your spiritual master that you need to do to satisfy him. There is no one general rule of thumb that kind of is taking place here. So Sri Kumar Prabhu, sorry for being vague because there is no, one perfect answer to your question.
No. Thank you, Guruji.
But the general rule of thumb is that all the instructing and initiating spiritual masters must be given the same respect. One cannot differentiate. Of course, again, it's a case-to-case basis. You cannot simply, because there is a general principle, but if there are conflicts, what if there are conflicts or differences of opinion between the initiating spiritual master and instructing spiritual master? That is beyond the scope of this class. We can take it.
Yes, yes, got it.
Yeah. Any other questions?
Thank you so much.
Thank you. So if we read through these things, then, so some things, for example, we may not fulfill because it's based on time, place, circumstances. One is requested to circumambulate around the temple, but you should never circumambulate in front of Krishna. You can't walk around in circles in front of the deity. You have to walk around the deity. So, we cannot walk in front of the deity. You have to always circumambulate around Krishna. And but since some temples might have the facility, some might not. So it depends. Again, it's a time, place, circumstance. My understanding of that instruction was in the previous days, the kings would come on palanquin. They couldn't come on palanquin right up to the sanctum sanctorum. They had to. There would be like the outer boundary of the temple. And then there would be the sanctum sanctorum where the deity was held. So they had to drop off from their palanquin and walk up till the sanctum sanctorum, not be coming on palanquin all the way till sanctum sanctorum.
I have a question. So at this temple, to circumambulate 3 times, would walking around the block count?
Yeah.
So, but we would keep it on the right, like start going out that way? Do you know what I mean? Like we would walk around the block, go down to 7-Eleven and come around and this way?
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. Go south?
Yeah. So 3 times.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Ideally walking. Not take your car, drive out.
I don't think so. I don't think the car's the same.
No. But again, you can ask your spiritual master. Yeah. He may say, if you can't walk and you want to have that strong desire, then who knows?
Yeah.
Hey.
Thank you.
So in some temple, in India mainly, I think there is always provision. In most of the, even ISKCON temples in India, they make a provision because it's part of the culture that the devotees do circumambulation around the deities. And it's every time, it is mentioned thrice a day you have to circumambulate before the deities. So, so these rules and regulations, while one should make their due diligence to understand and follow them, one need not get depressed in case one cannot follow them. A, because there are so many rules. B, because of time, place, circumstances, it's not possible. This one is 19. No, 1 minute. One should not. No. One should 21. There are few things one should definitely one we can follow for sure. Is that one should not accept prasad before deities. We don't do that. We just have to. We put the curtains. Then 11. It's on page 69, 11. One should not cry or howl before deities. I think that children, if they do that, that's the parents, they have to take care of that. I think it's a good thing, right? Oh, nice. Good, excellent point. These are the rules for the temple. At home, the rules and regulations are different. It's a little more. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so there are interesting things. My idea is that next time when you actually read, if you read and come, then it'll be a lot more interesting, because these are not like a flow that goes. It's more like how does this happen? How does that happen? When you say that fragrant flowers, it said that another rule is that if the flowers have no fragrance, they shouldn't be offered to the deities. So there are some things which can be followed, some things which cannot be.
Just to clarify, so when the curtain is shut, then these don't apply, then, or like for example,
actually no, they do apply, but I'll tell you the reason why. In some specific cases, they don't apply.
Okay. So
in temples in India, there was no question of eating in the temple hall, ever. Or if you go to any big temple, for example, you go to a temple like Tirupati, it's a Balaji temple, it's a huge complex. So the eating happens at a distance. There is an eating mess or an eating hall or an eating area, prasadam area separate, away from temple. So, technically speaking, if Krishna so desires, we buy this whole land, including the sizzlers, and sizzlers will be our eating prasadam area. So there is no question of eating here. So, but in our case, because there is no other facility, we adjust to the fact that we close the curtains and we eat. Otherwise, strictly speaking, no eating in the temple. Even prasad, non-prasad, not non-prasad, of course not, but even prasadam also not allowed.
So these other ones, though, like don't chastise anyone before the deity, don't be charitable to beggars before the deity. But if the curtain's closed, are they still apply or not? Like if somebody came to the temple and you gave them prasadam, but the curtain's closed, that's okay?
It should be okay. That's my understanding.
Okay.
But then again, Srila Prabhupada once. He was in the afternoon, the curtains were closed, the deities were taking rest. And there, one devotee was chanting very loudly, the japa. And Srila Prabhupada came and he said, ask the devotee to chant slowly because the deities are taking rest. The consciousness is that whenever we are in temple, it is the palace of a king. Because the king's doors are shut doesn't mean we just howl and cry. So like if you are in the house of an important person, even though the person is not in sight, you would be still respectful in that place, right? Right. So Krishna is the supreme king, and there is no reason not to accord him that status in his own house, which is the temple. Okay. So, but having said that, rules can be relaxed a bit, but it's better to be conscious like that always in the temple. Okay. That this is his property, he is the king there, and we are just the visitors. So he is. It's better we not do it. I would rather err on the side of caution by not doing it even when the curtains are closed.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. So the other thing, this is the only place as far as I read in Srila Prabhupada's books, that there is worship of demigods mentioned. Let's do that. I'll read 71, on page 71, second paragraph. Other rules are that one should not offer foodstuff which is cooked by a non-Vaishnava, one should not worship the deity before a non-devotee, and one should not engage himself in the worship of the Lord while seeing a non-devotee. One should begin the worship of the demigod Ganapati, who drives away all impediments in the execution of devotional service. In the Brahma Samhita, it is stated that Ganapati worships the lotus feet of Lord Nrsimhadev, and in that way has become auspicious for the devotees in clearing out all impediments. Therefore, Srila Prabhupada is all devotees should worship Ganapati. So there is one thing, it's clear. So it is the only place where I saw that, Actually, Rupa Goswami also writes, saying that you should worship Ganapati. So I just offer some. Yeah. So it's there. So somebody says that, oh, you are worshipping Ganapati. It's there. You say that, please give me, I'm worshipping you, But my main business is inside. You praise the secretary so that you can meet the king. He'll make it smoother for the whole thing to go ahead. You don't linger there. Your bare business is the king. You just secretary, you just have to.
Sorry, I have a question.
Sure.
So, sorry. So can you do the, like Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha? That one?
You can chant few prayers. I think there is no strict steps that you need to follow. Mm-hmm. You can chant few mantras in praise of Ganpati and offer him an incense and a flower, and then.
Oh, okay.
What is Gana?
Ganesh. Yeah. So he's So he's called Ganapati. He's called Ganesh. He's called Ganadiraj in Brahma Samhita.
Kind of protects you against material obstacles generally.
Yeah, and mainly people who are in the material consciousness, they worship him for that. But we worship him so that our service to the Lord be free without obstacles.
But I thought Lakshmi was that too initially. Didn't she do that too? Lakshmi? She's that fortune maybe.
Yeah, but I think it's... Right. So it is here, Srila Prabhupada writes that Ganeshji worships the lotus feet of Lord Nrsimhadev.
Yeah.
Right? So he gets his power to destroy from him. So we can worship either Lord Nrsimhadev directly, or you can worship Ganesh, you can worship a little bit, because it's there as a regulation. This is the only place I saw in Srila Prabhupada's books. Otherwise, in other places we are asked not to worship the demigods. You don't worship, but you don't disrespect. Thank you. And then, after talking about Seva Aparad, the last paragraph is Nama Aparad, that we are familiar with, the 10 offenses against the holy name. And so that concludes the chapter of offenses that needs to be avoided.
Prabhuji, one question.
Yes.
Since we got to the topic of Ganesh and Ganapati. So in India, you'll see most of the pujas, they'll say Pratham Puja, like they'll have to start with Ganesh and then whatever puja they'll do. But do we follow it in any ISKCON temple? I've not seen that.
Yeah, I haven't seen it very strictly implemented either.
Okay.
But the only place I saw in ISKCON was in ISKCON Chowpatty. So this is the door, and on top of the door there is Ganeshji. So people usually they say to him, and then they come to the temple. That is the closest to the worship of Lord Ganesh I have seen.
So, just one more question. So with Lakshmi, because my understanding was she has two jobs, and one was for material wealth, but the other one, my understanding was it was more for spiritual wealth, and so some people would chant to her. So if we do chant to Ganesh, can we also chant to Lakshmi and then do the Mahamantra, or no?
No, actually, here is the deal, Natalie. So when we chant in what consciousness is important. Mm-hmm. When you see Lakshmi Devi, and how many types of devotional service are there? How many types or how many varieties of devotional service?
I mean, 3? I mean, sadhana, bhakti?
How many types of bhakti, different forms of bhakti?
9?
Right. Mm. Right. So, Lakshmi is the authority on which? Pada Sevanam. Okay, now it's a quick question. And let's make it more enlivening. So let's go with all the 9 and see who are the authorities. Rupa Goswami says the perfection of that particular process is a particular personality. Now we covered, let's start with hearing. Parikshit Maharaj, chanting. Mm-hmm. Sukdev Goswami, chanting is Sukdev Goswami. Yes, thank you. Those who are on the phone, yes, Parikshit Maharaj. Chanting is Sukdev Goswami. And then offering prayers. Akrura, worshipping the Lord, Archanam. Yes, thank you, Prithu.
What was that?
Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam. Who is Vishnu Smaranam? Who is remembering Vishnu? Prahlad Maharaj. Vandanam is Vandanam is Akrur, Archanam is Pritu, Padasevanam, Lakshmi, Sakyam, Arjun, Dasyam, Hanuman, and Atma Nivedanam, Bali Maharaj. So those are the 9. So when we chant to any demigods, including Shiva, so when we see all these demigods as very, very dear to Lord Krishna, they are associates of Lord Krishna, they see him face to face, they know his glories. And when they are such exalted devotees, why not we worship them? To get the mercy of Krishna. But mainly, people who worship demigods, they are impelled by some sort of desire for wanting to themselves. And when they are done with that, probably they may not worship the demigods that much. So, what is your mood when you worship demigods? You worship Shiva, please, by all means, he's the greatest of Vaishnavas. And if we can beg Shiva to get even a fraction of devotion he has to Lord Krishna, and he'll be pleased to give. That is the beauty of Lord Shiva. So we know the qualities of Lord Shiva. He's very easy to please. He is the topmost of the devotees. Put 2 and 2 together, it makes a very fine case for worshipping Lord Shiva. Why? With the motive to get the grace of Krishna. Otherwise, no. So it purely depends on why you are doing. Gopis of Vrindavan, they worshipped. They worshipped Katyayani. What was their purpose? Because they wanted Krishna as their husband. But the fact of the matter is, Krishna was already bound to them. He said, he says, actually, you have served me so much. Your service is of such high caliber. I don't have anything to repay you. Can you imagine that? The supreme absolute truth. Who has everything conceivable in this world. Whom Lakshmi Devis are serving by hundreds of thousands. Who's the controller, creator, maintainer of everything, whose knowledge, whose opulences, whose renunciation, whose beauty finds no bounds, no limits. And that personality, that supreme absolute truth, knower of everything, he says to the gopis, I can't repay your debt. Whatever you've done for me, may your deeds be your own rewards. So the gopis already had Krishna completely bound up, controlled under their love. But yet they prayed. So there are deeper esoteric explanations. But anyways, just getting your point, right?
Good,
okay,
yeah.
thanks.
And then just one more question. So with chanting the 10 offenses, right? So we do that, we chant every day? So in English, or is there the Sanskrit? So.
Well, we have Sanskrit. It's there in the blue folder. Later we can look it up. They are from
okay.
Padma Purana.
Okay. So do most people chant the Sanskrit?
English, mainly English. So no, you don't worry about the Sanskrit part of it.
So you do it like once in the morning, or when do you do it?
Depends on the devotees. Some devotees chant, some devotees...
Before you chant the 16
Yeah, it will be ideal
okay.
if you can kind of remember those before you...
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Thank you. Other questions on phone, online? Before we go. All right. So we come back to the 64 items from chapter 9. Blasphemy, we talked about it a little bit. So the only thing one should know is that when the devotee or the Lord is being blasphemed, then there is no question of not acting. We have to take some actions. And what actions we take, it depends on us, depends on our level to thwart those actions. Either you get and walk away from that place, or if you have strong superior skills, you argue. But usually that argument can only be effective when one is having very strong faith and very knowledgeable in scriptures. The best thing for us is just walk away from that place. That's okay. People might think, this person just walked away, how rude, so be it. I don't care. Otherwise, if I sit and listen to you, my own spiritual life is destroyed. I am not that compassionate. Because it is said that if you see that blasphemy on page 73, so let's read the last paragraph just to enhance our intelligence. There are 3 ways of dealing with such insults. If someone is heard blaspheming by words, one should be so expert that he can defeat the opposing party by argument. If he is unable to defeat the opposing party, then the next step is that he should not stand there meekly, but should give up his life. The third process is followed if he is unable to execute the above 2 mentioned processes. That is, one must leave that place and go away. If a devotee does not follow any of the above mentioned 3 processes, he or she falls down from his position of devotional service. So that's important. Walking away is pretty easy. Who cares? And really, if your friends or family members did that, and they are really your friends and family members, then they will not do it again in your presence. Anyways. So the next item is tilak and tulsi beads.
Hi, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Sri Kumar Prabhu?
Yes,
Yes, Prabhuji.
In the first regard, I have a question, Prabhuji. This is a thing between what is given in Nectar of Instruction and what is given here. So in Nectar of Instruction, it is generally given that devotees should confidentially share with each other as a part of improving the Vaishnava relationships. And so if we have, like, when you have on a peer level, if you have issues with devotees, but if you want to confidentially discuss it with another devotee, is that considered as blaspheming of the devotees, or is it okay to, because you need to speak it out somewhere?
Good point. Did anybody get everybody get the question? No. Yeah. Okay. So what Sri Kumar Prabhu's question is, if in Nectar of Instruction we read that one of the exchanges amongst devotees is, I don't know, you haven't read the Nectar of Instruction, that course you didn't attend, right?
No, I have it.
Yeah, so the six items are like, you give gifts, receive gifts, you give prasad and you accept prasad. And the last is that you tell confidential things to others and receive or exchange. So Sri Kumar Prabhu's question is that if I have to, there are some concerns about the devotee and about some person, and then I need to talk to you, and we are exchanging confidentially about the other person. Is that blasphemy? Is that blasphemy of devotees when you try to criticize one devotee with other devotees? Right, Sri Kumar Prabhu?
Yes, sir. Basically expressing our mind. Like, if our mind might be feeling that, there is something wrong, they might be wrong or they might not be wrong, but if you want to express it, so would it be considered blasphemy? Yes.
Here is the thing. First thing is, it depends on why that discussion is happening in the first place. What is the basis? For example, if the need or if the basis of that discussion is to help the devotee in question, and then how to improve that person's devotional life, then one by all means has that conversation. But one tries to do it just for the sake of doing it, or for giving a vent to your criticizing tendencies, then that's blasphemy not needed. Just like if you take a knife and stab a person versus the doctor taking a knife and literally stabbing a person to cut open for something, that's a gulf of difference between that acts, though they exactly resemble. A person's taken a knife and cut someone, taken a knife and cut someone. But what was the purpose of doing that? So Sri Kumar Prabhu, so it depends on that, Prabhuji. If it is not going to be beneficial, then it's, or maybe if that beneficial to you or him, maybe that person, the devotee who's being very offensive to you, and then you need some sort of guidance on how to deal, maybe that's still okay, because you need to keep up your devotional service too. But if you are doing it for the sake of doing it, or with no real purpose behind that discussion, then it's best to avoid. Because ultimately Krishna sees everybody, and then as Vaishesh Prabhu says, he was just misinformed, or he was less informed. he didn't have the right information. And literally it does work that. Yeah, because if you have the information about the Vaishnava aparad, then one really doesn't go there. So, less informed. Does that little bit answer your question, Sri Kumar Prabhu?
Yeah. Yes, perfectly. That clears down. Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right. So the next item is tilak and tulsi beads, and then the importance of wearing them. Here there's one point is that, tilak, if you can't wear it, for example, if you go to the office, and then you obviously you can't wear tilak to your office, and it's not frowned upon or needed, then you apply tilak but only with water. So you can do that. And then the other point I found out is that tulsi beads are okay, and then if you don't find tulsi beads or made of tulsi wood, then I heard, get this, lotus roots, the seeds of the lotus, they can be used to make neck beads too.
And then they said neem.
Yeah.
And then sandalwood is auspicious too. But I think somebody else uses sandalwood.
Nice.
I read that.
Nice.
The Beginner's Guide to Krishna Consciousness, and it tells you how to make a temple at home too. In the Beginner's Guide. It's that little book.
Nice. Yeah, the small yellow book.
Yeah.
Nice.
So do we have it in the temple? I used to look for it a long time back.
Yeah, it was. I bought it here or at the Berkeley Temple. I'm not sure. I have so many books. I think I might have bought it at the Berkeley Temple. Yeah.
So for those who are online, Michael said not only tulsi, but also you can use neem and sandalwood for making beads. So the next item in there is accepting flower garlands. Okay, so how many of you have this copy? Or those who are online also? You have the newer one, right? Yes. So the older copy, if you have, let me read it up. Let's read from the top under the heading Accepting Flower Garlands. The next instruction is that one should put on flower garlands which are offered to the deity. In this connection, in the 11th canto, 6th chapter, verse 46 of Srimad Bhagavatam, Uddhava says to Krishna, "My dear Krishna, I have taken things which you have used and enjoyed, such as garlands of flowers, scented oils, garments, and ornaments, and I eat only the remnants of your foodstuff because I am your menial servant. So therefore I am sure I shall not be attacked by the spell of material energy." In this particular verse, if you see the word scented oils, so in the previous editions, it was called as saintly articles. So that's a correction that's needed. So those who have an older edition, it will be said as saintly articles. Doesn't make sense. And the actual word used in Sanskrit is gandha, which means scented oils. And you do give the scented oils to the Lord. So.
What is the fragrance of that? Are there different ones? Or?
Yeah, there are different ones. You get it from India.
Oh, you do?
Yeah. Yeah, after you offer it to Krishna, it will be very nice. Okay. There's one point, one enlightening point I wanted to share. So on page 75, those who are online, we are going to read from Accepting Flower Garlands on page 75. We read the second line, or the starting line from the top. Even if, everybody there? Even if one does not accept all Vaishnava principles, but still takes remnant of foodstuff offered to Krishna or Krishna Prasad, he will gradually become qualified to rise to the platform of a Vaishnava. So at least by doing this one simple thing, then one gets a lot of benefit. Krishna Prasad, as much as we can, of course. Ideally all the time, but practically as much as we can. Dancing before the deity, and this is also tells you how you've seen in San Francisco, if you go there, are a lot of pigeons, right? You clap, all those pigeons go away. It is said you clap before the deities, all your pigeons, which are like your sins, will fly away. Sins? If you clap in front of the deity, like birds will fly away, your sins will fly away. That's the idea. The next item is bowing down in honor of the deity. That is, everybody, most of the devotees do it. So, then the next item on page 76 is standing up to receive the Lord. So, this is especially happening. This may seem little unusual for our temples, but in India, in most of the temples, there are the big deities which you see, and they are the smaller deities, and the smaller deities are called Utsav Murtis. Utsav Murtis, UTSAV. Utsava means festival, and Utsav Murtis. So usually in the temples, in the evening, they put the deities on the palanquin, and they take them around the complex of the temple. Most of the small. Yeah, those. Yeah, most of the temples do it every evening or every other evening, but there is a system where they take it out on a palanquin, where they take the deities out on palanquin. So it is said that when the deities are going around in the temple, one shouldn't sit and say, okay, that's nice. No, as soon as the deities come near, you should stand up. So that is the import of this. It may seem a little unusual from the Western perspective, but that's the clarification which is. Or, you know what, somebody who is very exalted, maybe the Lord will personally come and meet you. So if he does that, please stand up.
Because when they had that Ratha Yatra in San Francisco, I was supposed to go, but something came up. That Jagannath Swami, the president, he said he was going to bring, Krishna.
Tarun.
Bring the deities.
No, give it to him.
To the San Francisco, and I thought they were going to bring the big ones, the Jagannath.
No, in San Francisco they bring the big one.
They bring the big one? I missed it because something came.
Yeah.
Oh, they do? I thought.
Yeah. No, for the Rath.
Little metal ones, like the ones they wash for the Abba, what do they call the Abash?
Right.
Yeah,
Abhishek.
Where they wash with the nectar.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, so they do bring the big one. Well, I'll see it next year. I thought they bring the little metal one.
Yeah, no. For the only Rath Yatra, it's a big one.
Okay.
But usually otherwise it's the smaller deities that are there.
So they take it off the altar, one of those, and bring it over there?
Yeah.
Really? All of them? Or just, I guess I'll have to go see next year.
Yeah, if you just see the Rath Yatra, then go see Rath Yatra in Jagannath Puri, where the deities are 7 feet tall. That will be a whole new experience.
Thank you.
Thank you. So going to the next item, again it refers to the same thing, following the deity, because the deity in those times, either in the Rath Yatra or some other place, you actually follow the deity, unless you have some specific service that keeps you away from following the deity. Make sense so far? Any questions? Okay, let's complete this. Going to the temple of Vishnu or to places of pilgrimage. So again, the benefits. Here, all these places, Srila Rupa Goswami quotes verses from different scriptures to back up his statement. And then circumambulating the temple of Vishnu that we discussed at length earlier. And then it is said that we need to circumambulate. Then Archana is worship. And worshipping the deity of the Lord. And then this is also one of the important items. Then rendering service to the Lord. So here, the previous item was Archana, yes? The next item is rendering service to the Lord. Seems a little same, right? Kind of. Right. So Archana is that you do personally the deity worship in the altar. And here, rendering service to the Lord, for example, it is specifically Srila Prabhupada writes, a rich man, he can actually use that money to establish the temple. In the other case, those who come, who help clean the temple, who help to do with other services, they are rendering service to the Lord. So it's in that sense there is no difference, whether you are on the altar or whether you are out doing book distribution or cleaning the temple, cooking for the deities, then doing so many other services like managing parking. Seriously, these are all services. Then singing for the deities. Singing and Sankirtan. Again, it may seem related. But my understanding, singing is when you sing bhajans, like not directly the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, but bhajans, that is singing for the Lord. And then Sankirtan is the loud chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And then the next item in that is japa, which is the soft chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra.
Prabhuji,
Yes.
This, what is the really importance of this archana, the worship? I very well understand the devotional service, but when we go in front of deity and doing all those, I don't know here, I did read it, but I don't know, the first line they say, like you are not body, you're trying to do that or something. I don't know, I just need some more points, means archana.
Right. So, a couple of things about archana is that archana is a personal service to the Lord. Like when we chant or when we do services, archana is more a direct, intimate service to the Lord. That's apart from being just a ritual in form of offering incense and everything. It's more is that I am directly decorating Krishna. I'm directly offering Krishna food. So it's through, of course, helping my spiritual master, but there is a personal touch involved when you do the deity worship. And before you do the deity worship, there is a verse which one is recommended to recite. Let's all recite it together. And this is in... Let's do... Yeah. Okay. It starts with... Naham Vipro. I'll just... N. That is page 408. This is the verse, second one, which... 74. Padyavali 74. That's the verse we are asked to recite before we offer the deity worship. Please repeat after me. Naham vipro nachanarapatir napi vaishyo na shudro naham varni nacha grihapatir no vanasto yatirva kintu prodyan nikhila parama ananda purnamritabdher gopi bhartu padakamalayur dasa dasanudasaha. I am not a Brahmana, I am not a Kshatriya, I am not a Vaishya, nor a Shudra, nor am I a Brahmachari, a householder, a Vanaprastha, or a Sannyasi. I identify myself only as the servant of the lotus feet of Lord Krishna, the maintainer of the gopis. He is like an ocean of nectar, and he is the cause of the universal transcendental bliss. He is always existing with some brilliance. You might want to inform Radhika's mother. She's she spit also on the floor. So before we offer prayers, before you do your puja, deity worship. No, before you do your deity worship.
Oh, okay.
Where you are offering your incense to your deities at home.
Oh, okay.
Or if you are... So, thank you, Mataji. So, this is in tune with the instructions which are given in Archana. That I am not a Brahmana, I am not a Vaishya, I am not a Shudra, I am not a Brahmana, I am neither a Grihastha, Vanaprastha or a Sannyasi. But I am the servant of the Lord. So it's that consciousness that is being developed that is more important, and that Archana brings that out. So that is the internal consciousness. The external consciousness, one has to be clean, and one has to follow the mantras and everything in a nice way, and then do the worship to the deities. In your home you have the deities where you offer incense, you offer arti, you offer chamara, those things. Does that a little bit help your question?
I got it. I think I got the mood when we do that.
Right.
Yeah. Thank you, Prabhu. Yeah.
Thank you. All right. So let's, we'll wait for Shamalangi Mataji. Okay. So rendering service and archanam, what's the difference again? Rendering service and archanam, rendering service to the Lord, and archanam, deity worship, what is the difference? Right. 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 Questions like this will come in exams. I'm not going to ask you list all these 64 items of offenses. It's going to be more of these questions, like what is the difference between this and this? Right. It is just, in this case, it cannot overlap because Rupa Goswami wouldn't give two different items. So there is some some specific focus on this. For example, a person who is cleaning the temple or cleaning the bathrooms cannot jump into the altar and do the. So there are some mutually exclusive events that are happening.
So I just wanted to clarify. So for Archana, then it's our personal worship with the Lord. Is that more like at home then, or can it be if we come to the temple and nobody's here, and we have we do our own thing, kind of? Do you know what I mean? Is that Archana also?
One is, please understand that Archana, when it comes, we have specific rules and regulations. It doesn't matter if anybody is watching or not watching.
Okay.
Even in the temple, there is a time at which you can offer arti.
Mm-hmm. Right.
There is a sequence of articles you need to offer. You cannot offer whatever way you like.
Okay.
First it's incense, then it goes. And then even for the incense, there is regulation. For example, 3 times around the lotus feet, 2 times around the face, then 7 times around the. So there are specific rules.
Right.
Those don't change.
So Archana can be it's arati then.
It's mainly. It can also include dressing the deities.
Oh, okay.
Offering prasad to the deities.
Okay.
Putting them to sleep. Wonderful. Waking them up. All these form Archana.
Okay.
Yes. 1 minute. Are you done, Natalie?
I got it. Thank you.
Yes, Aditi.
So all the points which I mentioned before Archana, are they also part of Archana? Like going to the temple of Vishnu, following the deity? And
Archana is more specific to the pujaris.
Okay.
Those who are on the altar.
Okay.
And whereas some are for others. From my understanding, I found 3 types of things that are happening. One is for general mass of people. For one, you come into the temple, there are certain rules. For example, don't pass air in front of the deity. Or few other regulations like that. Or for all the visitors, anybody, don't fight, don't quarrel, don't yell, don't lie down. So those are pretty much applicable to everybody who comes to the temple. And there are certain rules which are for the people who are going to the altar. One of the rules is that if you are perspiring, then you shouldn't worship. But if you are perspiring, if you don't come to the temple, then nobody will come to the temple. Right? The other thing is, again, at the risk of sounding, quote-unquote liberal, these rules have to be a little bit adjusted according to time, place, according to the temple authorities. For example, Vaisheshika Prabhu is competent enough to say that our temple, we may have to do these things. It's to kind of, adjust it. And that people are expected to follow. So the other thing is food cooked by a non-Vaishnava. How do you define a non-Vaishnava? Only a person who is second initiated can cook for the deities, or how do we? So again, based on how the temple preaching mission happens, previously we had devotees we still have devotees who are not initiated cook for the Sunday feast, for example. Right? Because then how do you define a non-Vaishnava which without breaking? Because if you allow others to cook, then you are breaking this rule. But so you see that dilemma. But when a preaching mission is going on, then and when you have a temple and when you have a Sunday feast, then people will come and you have to do. What if there are not enough people to do? How are you going to manage? See, so if one of you will become the temple presidents tomorrow, then you will know these are all the things one has to tussle with. Okay, other things. Okay. So we covered singing, sankirtan, and japa. What is the difference between singing, sankirtan, and japa? Because we covered singing after rendering service to the Lord, sankirtan, and japa. Yes, Michael, you had a question. Yeah, go ahead.
So a Vaishnava, so if you're going to be cooking...
Please, Michael.
Oh, I'm sorry.
This is for the benefit of those who are online.
Sorry, excuse me.
Everybody wants to hear your voice.
Yeah. So a Vaishnava, so if they're cooking in the kitchen, do you have to be initiated to do that? Or you can help out even if you're not?
Even if you're not, at least in the temple, at least in our temple, we do not have that, enforce that particular...
Yeah, okay. Yeah, but right.
Actually, I'm sorry, I'll take back the word enforce. We do not set that rule.
Okay.
Enforce is the wrong word to use.
Yeah, I mean, we wouldn't just like pull somebody off the street and put them in there and cook. I mean, but it would be people that would attend.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. And if we ran out of food, we wouldn't, go outside and the tamale lady in her cart and bring, you know what I mean? That's obviously a non-devotee, But yeah, all right. Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right. So singing, sankirtan, and japa is, singing is bhajans, sankirtan is loud chanting, which we have harinams in Palo Alto and San Francisco we had. Yeah. And then japa is soft. And then Srila Rupa Goswami, he quotes different verses from Shastra, backing up the effects of doing this. Then next is submission, or offering oneself, or submitting oneself to the Lord. So submitting oneself to the Lord, Srila Rupa Goswami says there are 3 types. They are, it's there on page 81 on the top. Actually, Shamalangi Mataji, Kumari Mataji doesn't have a book, so if you can give her a... No, it's okay, that's one. It's there one. I see. Oh, can I? No, I don't see in the. Yeah. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Mataji. So we are on page 81. So there are 3 types. I'll wait for Shamalangi Mataji. 81. We are on page 81 on the top. Okay, so there are 3 ways one can offer their submission to Krishna. First thing is samprarthanatmika. Samprarthanatmika means very feelingly offering prayers. And pardon? Dainya Bodhika is the next one, humbly submitting oneself. And the third one is Lala Samai, desiring some perfectional stage. So the first step, which is samprarthanatmika, is a stage where I have no love for Krishna and I want that love for Krishna. Yeah, abhav means I desire to have some affection for Krishna. And then the corresponding verse Srila Rupa Goswami quotes to back up from the scripture. We'll all do it together. I think we heard of it, but we'll just do it together anyways. It's from Padma Purana, I believe. That's on page 382. For those who are online, I'm sorry, but if you have a shloka book, we are on page 382. We're going to recite the verse, Yuvati Naam, and then... Okay, the first verse on the top. Kindly repeat after me. Yuvatinam yata yoni yunam cha yuvatau yata manobhiramate tadvan mano me ramatam tvai. Just as the mind of young girls take pleasure in young boys, and young boys take pleasure in young girls, kindly allow my mind to take pleasure in you alone. So this is the verse Rupa Goswami says for the first one, offering prayers. And then Dainya Vodika is Dainya Vodika verse is in the next stage, and that will be Mattulyo. If it is there, let's look it up. Mattulyo or Matsamu, it can be one and the same. Mattulyo nasti papatma. Do we have it here? It should be there. Or Matsamu. Matsamu is there. Do you have it? No, we don't have it, right? Yeah, interesting. So anyway, that is a verse that is from Rupa Goswami. He quotes to Mahaprabhu when they... Right. It's fine. Yeah, we can do it. So, because anyway, I want to speed up a little more faster. Vaisheshi Prabhu is going to come for the class, so I just want to... And then the third thing is Lalasamai, or this Lalasamai thing is, it's in the perfectional stage. In that perfectional stage, where the devotee cries to Krishna, "Oh Krishna, when will you call me? And when will I do chamar? Or when will I fan you? Or when will I, So those are the things. That's the further. Third one is third one is Srila Rupa Goswami. He quotes mainly from Narada Pancharatrika. So these are the verses by Narada. Even they are not super famous verses. They are not there, but.
I just wanted to clarify. So the first one is the person doesn't yet have love for Krishna but desires it. The second one, though, is you just submit yourself and say, do whatever, I'm yours and do what you want.
Yeah, the second one is that
your will.
No, you get, or you have that strong desire and you get the love a little bit, but you find that you are so unworthy of serving Krishna because of the faults in you. You feel like, it's like, there is some, I don't know where I heard it. He's such an exalted person that I'm not even fit to kiss his boots.
Oh, okay.
Or, in this case, kiss her boots, whatever.
Okay.
Whatever. So the idea is that you feel so humble, so like utterly, you see that Krishna is a wonderful person that I want to serve, but I have so many disqualifications to serve him. Okay. What should I do?
Okay. And then the third one would be...
the third one would be that one reaches that stage and you want to serve Krishna in a particular way.
Oh, okay. Like as a friend.
As a friend, as a lover.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
And then when will I be eager? When will I get that sort of reciprocation with you?
Mm-hmm.
Or when will you call me personally to serve you? That's what Narada. That's what is the.
Okay.
Okay. Now that we are in there, let me read that particular verses. Anyway, Shamalangi Mataji also asked on page 82, the second paragraph. For those who are online, we are on Nectar of Devotion, page 82, second paragraph. In the Narada Pancharatra, there is a statement of submission accompanied by desire for perfection. The devotee says, "My dear Lord, when shall that day come when you will ask me to fan your body, and according to your pleasure you will say, 'You just fan me in this way'?" The idea in this verse is that the devotee is desiring to personally fan the body of the Lord, of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And then in the last paragraph on the same page, everybody there? In the same Narada Pancharatra, there is another expression of submission where the devotee says, "My dear Lord, O lotus-eyed one, when will that day come when on the bank of Yamuna I shall become just like a madman and continue to chant your holy name while incessant tears flow from my eyes?" This is another perfectional stage. So these are the expressions of longing and eagerness, that intense longing and eagerness. Do you want to know what's the price for going back to Godhead? Yeah? It's only fair, right? At least you know what should I pay to get back to Krishna, right? Here. Let's do that. On page 83, the second paragraph from the top. Those who are online, page 83, second paragraph. In other words, one should learn how to cry for the Lord. One should learn this small technique, and he should be very eager and actually cry to become engaged in some particular type of service. This is called laulyam, and such tears are the price for highest perfection. Let me repeat that. Such tears are the price for the highest perfection. If one develops this laulyam or excessive eagerness for meeting and serving the Lord in a particular way, that is the price to enter the kingdom of God. Otherwise, there is no material calculation for the value of the ticket by which one can enter the kingdom of God. The only price for such entrance is this laulyam lalasamai, or desire and great eagerness. Yeah, that come from correct. No, that tears of deep longing. How can I serve you?
When Krishna goes out into the field, where is my Krishna?
Something like that.
Even the kids get a lot with tears.
Exactly.
But I have a question. So these are different from the tears of like ecstatic joy, though, right?
These are the tears of intense longing to serve Krishna.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
There is a stage where, life. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also says, "Yugaitam nimeshena chakshusha pravarshaitam chunyaitam jagat sarvam govinda virhene me." It must be there here. The yugaitam nimeshena means that one nimisha, or one fraction of a second, is as long as one yuga. And tears constantly flow from my eyes. Yugaitam, when yugaitam nimishena chakshusha pravarshaitam. It's there, let's look it up. I'm pretty sure it must be there here. Yugaitam nimeshena. Why you? Really? Yeah, page 25 from the Shloka book. I think, please repeat after me. This is so beautiful. Let's do that. Actually, we can do 6 also. We can do 6 and 7. Yes, actually 6 will be even in line with that. Yeah, 6. Yeah. Please repeat after me. Nayanam galadashrudharaya Vadanam gadagada rudaya gira Pulakair nichitam vapukada Tavanama grahane bhavishyati. O my Lord, when will my eyes be decorated with tears of love flowing constantly when I chant your holy name? When will my voice choke up, and when will the hairs of my body stand on end at the recitation of your name? The next verse. Yugaitam nimeshena chakshusha pravarshaitam shunyaitam jagat sarvam Govinda virahene me. Oh Govinda, feeling your separation, I am considering a moment to be like 12 years or more. Tears are flowing from my eyes like torrents of rain, and I am feeling all vacant in the world in your absence. So this is an advanced stage. As I said, Lalasamai Prarthana is an advanced stage. But those are the tears we are talking about. Then the next item, coming back to Nectar of Devotion, is page 83, reciting notable prayers. There are many prayers, and we can recite. Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam has plentiful of prayers. Any examples of prayers in Bhagavad Gita or Srimad Bhagavatam that come to mind? Yes, Kunti prayers in Bhagavatam and Nrsimhadev prayers, Prahlad prayers, and then prayers by Bhishma. There are so many prayers. There is Shiva Gita. In Bhagavatam there is the prayer spoken by Lord Shiva. The Gopi Gita is there. So there are so many prayers, hundreds of prayers. We can pick up some prayers and we can chant. The next item is partaking of prasad, and then drinking of Charanamrit, smelling the incense and flowers offered to the deities. So, then touching the deity. So this again, touching the deity is mainly for the pujaris, those who actually serve the deity.
You have a question too. I have a question on that one, because in here it says only a person who is initiated as a Vaishnava, but to be a Pujari you have to be initiated twice. You have to do second initiation.
Right.
So is that what this, just interpret it as second initiation?
Good point. Based on who you ask in ISKCON, first, actually initiation means the second initiation.
Okay.
Mainly Harinam initiation was technically not considered initiation until you take second initiation. Then only you are connected to Parampara. That is one way of understanding.
Okay.
The second understanding is that the chanting of holy names is sufficient, and if you take Harinam initiation, that's enough itself is sufficient. Mm-hmm. But if one wants to advance, then one has to take second initiation to serve the deity. So. Okay.
And with second initiation, it's basically Gayatri mantra, right?
Yes.
And is that primarily
correct?
It? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I have another question. So if you've already been chanting the Gayatri mantra on your own, but you haven't had the second initiation, is that all right?
It's all right, but it is said that the fruits or the effects of chanting the Gayatri will become more manifest if you take second initiation.
Okay. All right.
And also in the second initiation, we get a lot more than just Gayatri mantra in ISKCON. Mm-hmm. We have Kama Gayatri, we have Guru Gayatri, we have Gauranga.
Oh, okay.
And then Krishna. So all these.
So you're given that on that day?
Yeah, seven.
Okay. Seven. Oh, okay.
7 Gayatris.
Okay.
7
hopefully
mantras,
in writing, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. All right, hold on. Michael?
I forgot my question.
If you remember.
Yeah. But we can touch Prabhupada. Is he considered a deity?
Yeah.
Sort of.
No, it's not. It's a valid question.
Hands.
Yeah.
That's like, here in the Berkeley Temple, and we're touched, but never the main altar.
Yeah.
And I doing pujari. I did 2 Tulsi pujaris at the Berkeley Temple because there was nobody else. I was asked by one of the brahmacharis to do it. So there was nobody else, and they asked me to do it. So I and they guided me.
It's perfectly valid.
Yeah, so my heart was in it,
Good job.
Well, I don't know how good it was.
Yeah, good job. Actually,
But that wasn't on the altar.
but Michael, hold the
floor.
thought. Hold the thought. We'll come to Tulsi
Yeah.
later.
Yeah.
It's a good thing.
Thank you.
And I'm really hoping to come to that point. Next is seeing the deity. So here, seeing the deity. Okay, let's read it so that there is a little clarification, and then we'll read. For those who are online, we are on page 86 under the heading "Seeing the Deity." In the Varaha Puran, there is a statement praising the seeing of the deity of Sri Krishna in the temple. A devotee says there, "My dear Vasundhara, a person who goes to Vrindavan and sees the deity of Govindadev is free from the courthouse of Yamraj and is allowed to enter into the highest planetary systems, in which reside the demigods. This means that even an ordinary person who goes to Vrindavan out of inquisitiveness and by chance sees the temple, especially that of Govindadev, even if he is not elevated to spiritual kingdom, is still assured to higher planetary systems. This means that simply by visiting the deity of Govindadev in Vrindavan, one becomes highly elevated in pious life." So the obvious question is, what about us? We are... No. Yeah. Oh, no. That's one point. If we can go, we should definitely go. But Srila Jiva Goswami writes this is applicable for all the deities, all over the world. So it's not specific to Vrindavan. The reason why Rupa Goswami, then one might say, why did Rupa Goswami specifically mention Vrindavan and why are we trying to change it? We are not changing it. It's Jiva Goswami who actually... Jiva Goswami was the nephew and the disciple of Rupa Goswami. He knew his spiritual master in a very intimate fashion, right from his childhood. So when Jiva Goswami says it's applicable to all the deities, and that's applicable for all the places, Rupa Goswami's Ishtadev, or Rupa Goswami's main murti was Radha Govinda. Sanatan Goswami was the Sambandha Guru, and so his main deity was Radha Madan Mohan. His Ishtamurti was Radha Madan Mohan temple. Rupa Goswami's was Radha Govinda Dev. And Radha Gopinath is, I don't remember, one of the Goswamis.
All these worship means a name started from that onwards. I
didn't get you. I'm sorry.
Like you said, Radha Govind and Madan Mohan, those name and Murti Puja started with those names from those persons onwards?
No, actually the names were there, but somehow we have, for Gaudiya Vaishnavas, we have three principal deities in Vrindavan that are important: Madan Mohan, Govinda, and Gopinath. Mm-hmm. So Madan Mohan represents the Sambandha, means the process of understanding our relationship with Krishna. So Michael, every Vedic topic has three things. What is called Sambandha, or what's our relationship with Krishna, knowing or discovering what's our relationship with Krishna. Then Abhideya means the process of perfection, and Prayojana is actually the being situated on the perfection. So Rupa Goswami's Ishtadev was Radha Govinda, who was the Abhideya, means the process of devotional service. So the Sambandha, Abhideya and Prayojana were mainly, or they were highlighted by Mahaprabhu. He said, Mahaprabhu said in his teachings to Sanatana Goswami that every Vedic literature, these things are mentioned. What's your relationship with God? What's the process to attain it? And what's the ultimate goal? Make sense? Okay.
What's your relationship to God?
And what process to achieve it? What's the process? So all these steps which we are discussing, like chanting, worshipping the deities, there's all the process. And then the goal is love of God. So the last item in there, okay, you're making notes, I'll wait till you're done. The last, okay.
We also had planned to record those
Yes, we'll do it. Actually, we can take. I can do it, record it on your phone.
I'm not seeing whether Avantika knows how to do. I don't know if
I know.
You know?
Actually, we'll do it a little bit immediately after the class. Yeah. There is utilities and then there is voice memo. All right. So the next chapter, we have 2 more chapters to go, and let's go a little faster. Techniques of hearing and remembering. So we continue on with the list of the items in the 6th chapter. It will be useful when you are reading this to go back to the 6th chapter. Then we know the map is there, and then we know one item is being ticked off. So hearing is hearing about pastimes of Krishna, and then any points in there? No, that's it. But if you see, Srila Rupa Goswami has mentioned 3 shlokas for hearing, and those 3 shlokas correspond to hearing the name of the Lord, form of the Lord, and pastimes. And then the next item on page 91 is expecting Lord's mercy, and then the verse for that is Tattenukampam verse, which is the famous verse. If one expects Krishna's mercy, because please understand, the devotees, when they suffer, the suffering is not because of karma, it is because of Krishna. That may be a counterintuitive thing. Why would Krishna make me suffer? But if you are a parent, or if you had parents, which everybody had, why would they make you go to school? It's painful. Why don't they let me play all day long? Feed me some nice things I like and play and watch all day long. No school. But, they know what's best for you, so they have to do the painful thing also. So Krishna, in that sense, he gives the good and bad so that he can rectify his devotees. And he'll do it in a way which he thinks is the best. So, but the devotee's attitude is, whether good or bad, whatever you give me, I'll just hear about you, and then I'll offer you my obeisances, and Krishna will be pleased with that attitude.
I have a question on that one.
Yeah.
So how do you differentiate between karma, a person's karma, and Krishna's mercy in giving you these challenges, type of thing? Because there is karma, you know what I mean? So how do you, where's the line, or how do you differentiate?
Honestly, there is no strict line of differentiation. Mm-hmm.
Or is the karma from Krishna?
But based on one's surrender to Krishna, mm-hmm. Krishna takes charge of the devotee. Okay. If my surrender to Krishna is occasional, then his punishment and goodness is also occasional. But if my surrender is complete, then he'll completely take charge.
Okay.
So
and the karma is wiped
destroyed,
out. Okay.
Completely wiped out.
Okay.
Completely. At the time of initiation, it is said the spiritual master takes out all of one's karma. Okay. Complete karma is gone. Mm-hmm. So from that point on, it's Krishna who's giving you the good and bad. Okay. So based on one's degree of surrender to that effect, mm-hmm. because if your surrender to Krishna is 0, then karma is 100%. Right. Then
okay. So is there a distinction between aspiring disciple or the actual ceremony with the initiation?
Actual ceremony with initiation, but okay. The fact of the matter is that even before one takes initiation, mm-hmm. the very act of chanting the holy name of Krishna destroys the sin. Okay. Because that faith is there, mm-hmm. and because of faith you associate. Now, because please understand, Natalie, that even if you don't take initiation, there are so many steps which are mentioned. You look at the deities. It is said when you look at the face of the deity, when the arati is going on, don't do anything else in the world. Your thousands and thousands of lives of sins are destroyed by that very act of looking at the deity when arati is going on. So this shows the power of devotional service, but at the same time this shows what is the sinful quantity I have in stock. How many millions and billions of immemorial births I have taken, and what's my quantity,
total karma
that's been around.
Lots.
That's my point.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Prabhu, Hare Bol. So the next one is remembrance. We are on page 91. Remembrance. So remembrance, Srila Rupa Goswami writes, is that somehow or other, if you can think of Krishna, if you remember Krishna, oh, he's so wonderful person, then that's called remembrance. And the remembrance is, and then what else? You can remember, yeah. Then the next step is meditation. So again, remembrance and meditation, they seem to be the same. Remembrance or remembering someone and meditation seems to be the same. Because if you see, on page 91 it's remembrance, and page 92 it's meditation. What's the difference?
Yeah, if you ask that question, what should we write?
Right. Meditation, my understanding is meditation is more deeper, more longer, and more focused. Whereas remembrance is more casual, more occasional. But in either case, welcome back. In either case, it will help one destroy one's karma. The meditation, Srila Rupa Goswami writes 4 types of meditation. First meditation is Rupa Dhyanam, or seeing the form of the Lord, meditating the form of the Lord. What turban he wore, what sort of flute he has, how red are his lips, what sort of garland does he have, what sort of ankle belts does he have. So those are all like meditating the form of the Lord, Rupa Dhyanam. The other is Guna Dhyanam, means characteristics of Krishna. Oh, his lips are so red, or his smile is so wonderful. The way he walks is like an elephant. His gait is like that of an elephant. Yeah, the characteristics, guna. So if you see on page 92, in the meditation second paragraph, you see the words in the Narasimha Puran. There is a statement about meditation on the form of the Lord. So you can underline meditation on form of the Lord. The next chapter, Srila Rupa Goswami quotes from Vichyudharma, there is a statement about meditation on the transcendental qualities of the Lord. That you can underline. And then the next paragraph in the Padma Puran, you got that? Yeah. Activities of the Lord. So that is called Krida Dhyanam, or pastimes of Krishna. Then the fourth is if someone simply meditates on the Seva Dhyanam, or the devotional activities. So 4 types of meditation. And in this connection, pardon? Yeah, you can do that. Actually, please be rest assured that I say it with all the humility I can muster. It's difficult, much more difficult to set a question paper on these type of things rather than... maybe that's what I should have an exam. That the exam is that all of you set question papers. That's easy actually. Yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Sudeep. Is that okay, Michael? Okay, go ahead, Sudeep.
No, on just a lighter note, when you said that it's really, really hard to set a question paper, it makes us all a little bit uneasy. It makes us get the feeling how hard that question paper is going to be, if it is even difficult to set a question paper. Anyway, that was just on a lighter note.
Actually, Sudeep, if I said it's easy to set a question paper, then you should be concerned. Because all I can do is, do this, do that. It's really easy for me. But, to remember for you, it's going to be hard. But my thing is I have to frame the question paper so that it becomes easy for you, or it becomes more fun for you. So, rest assured, Sudeep, all those concerns can be eliminated. Michael, you had a question. Yeah. Sorry.
When is the exam going to be?
January 19th, 20th. That weekend.
20th?
Yeah, one of those. Usually...
One day.
No, yeah, that's 3 hours.
Oh, it's 3 hours?
The thing is, we reserve one weekend, and then based on,
Is it essay or multiple choice or both?
it's actually more than that. It's mainly short answer. Essay there might be one essay question, 1 or 2 essay questions maximum, and then there is fill in the blanks, true or false, multiple choices, jumbled up stuff you need to match. I'll try to make it fun. I don't want to give an exam where you say, man, that root canal was such a walk in the park compared to this.
Well, no, yeah. We went to challenge it, and then is there a pass or fail, or is it?
65% is the pass mark.
Oh, and who grades it? You?
Yeah.
Okay, or is it by yourself, or do you have help, or anybody else?
No. I hopefully
65%, that's pretty good.
Yeah. So this is the second batch we are going to complete. We started this 4 years ago, 4.5 years ago, Bhakti Sastri. We completed.
1 or 2 more classes and then
Yeah. There! Wow.
Then, just one more question. So on the shlokas that we are to memorize, so are we going to write them out on the test?
Yes.
So what we would just pick?
No. So for example, let me take because I said this would come in the exam. Anyavilashita shunyam words. So it would be write from memory the Sanskrit and English for this verse, and I'll give first few words. First word. First 2 words, Anyavilashita or something like that, and then you need to pick up from there.
Okay.
Is it in Sanskrit?
Yeah.
you write English,
Yeah.
yeah, both Sanskrit and the translation.
So for just one, or there were 5? No. There
Yeah,
were 2?
about 4 or 5. I'll decide. We'll see.
Okay. All right.
So, Prabhu, there is no homework this semester, yeah?
No homework. Do you want homework?
No, I'm just asking. I didn't miss it, yeah.
No, you didn't. Yeah, I used to do that. 30% was homework and 70% was exam.
We have to know how to write in that, the Roman Sanskrit, and then know the English translation.
But he's not very particular with spelling them, how we have those.
Yeah. So here is the thing. When you say memorize the Sanskrit, you don't have to memorize English. You can paraphrase English.
Yeah, paraphrase, yeah, okay. The general.
Yeah, obviously they have to be somehow connected, right?
Yeah.
I mean, for the Anyavilashtam Shunyam words, you cannot give a synopsis of the latest movie.
I hate to ask you again, but so in the shloka book, let's see. I didn't get. I know you emailed me, but it must have gone to the another place. You know what I mean?
What?
So I think you emailed me about the ones we're to memorize.
Yeah, he sent.
I didn't get it. I didn't get it.
He sent. Tarun. He took out the Sanskrit. Now we have Sanskrit. We have English.
And pronunciation?
Yeah.
I didn't get that email though. So.
Oh, okay. She'll forward.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought I was, but I checked my email and I didn't see it. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Actually, we had an English copy long time ago, and then he added Sanskrit too. Actual Devanagari script. Excuse me. All right. So we have a story at the end about the devotional service, wherein Hare Krishna, wherein a Brahmana from Pratishtanpur, there is a story about how a Brahman, he was poor and he didn't have much wealth to offer it to Krishna, but in his mind he used to offer everything, and then his fingers got burnt. So that is the story there. I wish I could have the time to repeat, but it just more.
Prabhu mentioned in one of his lectures, maybe last time.
Right.
Recent lectures, he also said.
Right. So 11th, we'll complete 11th, and then we can take questions in the end. Hare Krishna. Thank you for coming. This is a course, we have a Bhakti Sastri. No, please be comfortable, be seated if you need anything. This is a course which we do it in the temple. And then our Sunday feast, it starts around 4 o'clock, 4:15. Right. Yeah. So please make yourself comfortable. Just in case you are wondering, did the class start early or did we miss? No, the time is still 4:15. Okay, thank you. So 11th chapter. So servitorship. This is a. Please read this. Please read this extremely carefully. Not because from exam perspective. Everything is not about that. But the idea here is the Varnashram system versus devotional service. That's a big topic within ISKCON these days. But this purport or this Srila Prabhupada's writing, he gives a very clear-cut understanding of what is what. So please do read it. The essence is that when you serve Krishna, people say either you can serve as members of Varnashram or you can serve as a part of Bhakti. So, for example, if you are a politician, means you are a Kshatriya class, and then you have to do your duty and there is some Bhakti you have to do along also on the side. So, offering both to Krishna, offering one to Krishna, which is more important, and then things like that are discussed here. So, please do read this. And then this is I wish I could discuss at length, but because of time, we are. Then devotional service and friendship. There are two kinds of friendships to Krishna. One is called a servitor, the other is called a well-wisher. So both of them are in devotional service in friendship. Surrendering everything to Krishna. We are on page 97. So we can surrender body, we can surrender mind, or we can surrender soul. So these three types of surrender are discussed here. So these kind of things might come. Offering a favorite article. We are on page 98. Here again, offering whatever is your favorite thing for Krishna. Performing all endeavors for Krishna. That's more in our setting, which we can understand. Being a surrendered soul. So here, again, surrendering everything to the Lord and being a surrendered soul seems a little bit common. Right? Yeah. What's the difference? Surrendering everything to Krishna and so here in the waves of devotion, sometimes this will help. If you don't have a copy, then 91. So for those who are online, we are reading from Waves of Devotion. What's the difference between surrendering everything to Krishna and being a surrendered soul? On page 91, being a surrendered soul, there is a subtle distinction between Atma Nivedanam, surrendering everything to Lord, and Sharanapattihi, being a surrendered soul. Sharanapattihi means to consider oneself completely subservient to and protected by the Lord. Atma Nivedanam also means self-dedication, but such dedication may or may not be accompanied by such feelings of subservience and dependence. Bali Maharaj is an example of Atma Nivedanam without a feeling of subservient dependence on the Lord. So, I think it's more of, again, Atma Nivedana is that occasional surrender to Krishna, but here this is more of like a continuous state of completely being surrendered to Krishna. Krishna, kill me, protect me, whatever. I am right there. I am not going to go anywhere. Versus, okay, I give my everything to you. Anyway, I am dying of cancer. You take my property. And not that graphic, but anyways, right? Being a surrendered soul. Michael, your favorite thing, 99, on page Nectar of Devotion. Serving trees such as Tulsi. In the Skanda Puran, there is a statement here, and again we go of how worship of Tulsi is important. Anybody who touches Tulsi, who sees Tulsi, who pours water, who offers arati, that's very auspicious. All right. Yes.
Just a minor question. So, from Arati, when they put the tulsi leaves on the prasad, right? And we eat, if you have a little leaf or it's in the water. So, is that internally purifying, or what is the meaning of it? I understand the tulsi, like the worship part,
Okay.
but actually taking the leaf and putting it on prasad, it just...
on
do you know
prasad.
what I mean? So,
Because Krishna loves tulsi, and Krishna usually, it's said in the scriptures that without tulsi, Krishna doesn't even look at the food. He doesn't accept that food.
Okay.
So tulsi leaf is what that makes it very sanctifying.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
In fact, it's there in Giri Govardhan that he ate and he ate and he ate, and then there was nothing else to eat. They gave him a tulsi and he said, okay, I'm satisfied, I'm done.
Oh, okay, thank you.
So Krishna, tulsi is the ticket which Krishna accepts.
Oh, okay.
That is the ticket actually you have to put on the food so that the Krishna accepts. Otherwise he'll say no thanks.
Okay, thank you. But I mean, for us to eat it, you know what I mean? When they put prasad out and then we eat it.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
So like Mahaprasad, right? So is there any purifying effect for us eating it with tulsi leaf, or is it?
I mean, physically or spiritually?
Spiritually.
Spiritually, of course it is. In the sense because it's partaken by Krishna, and then it destroys our...
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sure, thank you. Other questions, comments, concerns? So, next week, Shamalangi Mataji said that we have a competition, so we may not be having a class next week. So, we'll have class from 2 weeks from now?
2 weeks.
The 15th, right?
The 15th?
Yeah.
The 15th of December on Sunday.
Yeah, so we'll complete the remaining chapters. On that day, we were supposed to be doing the last 3 chapters. No, not the remaining. Remaining of the sadhana bhakti. So we'll do like 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. No, 5 chapters. So we'll do only 5 chapters, not only 5 chapters, and then the last bhava bhakti and prema bhakti we'll do it in January. We have to have one unscheduled class in January, and then we'll complete it. So we are still in sadhana bhakti. So what are the 3 types of bhakti? What are the 3 types of bhakti? Sadhana bhakti. So sadhana is from which chapter to which chapter? Chapter 2 through 16. And bhava bhakti is chapter 17 and 18. And prema is 19. So we are still in sadhana stage. So as we go ahead, this is Vaidhi. What are all we are discussing, the rules, regulations and everything, they are Vaidhi sadhana bhakti. And then in the advanced stages of sadhana is called Raganuga sadhana. And then we go to Raganuga, that spontaneous attraction for Krishna, we discuss that. And then we go to the bhava and then to the prema. So we'll try to complete 5 chapters next class, but if it is too much, then we'll do 4, and then probably we'll do in the last class. Is that okay? Any concerns? Everybody doing fine? Everybody on the phone and the online doing fine? Any questions and comments from the devotees who are listening online?
No, Prabhuji, thank you.
Thank you. All right then. Yes. Actually, can we do it when... We can do it now? Yeah. So, Natalie, do you just want Sanskrit or do you want... You wanted the pronunciation, right? Only Sanskrit, right? Yeah. Only Sanskrit, right? Yeah. You left it at home? I already have it, right? No problem. I don't have to go. You can give me on Wednesday. You're coming on Wednesday?
When did you email me? No, I added you in the...
No, let me think. Yeah, I'm here, but I don't want you to drive. When are you going to India?
No, when before you give me the... 13th. So I'm going to forward
Tamil 12, 9.
Okay. Maybe right now.
We work in Santa Clara? Okay, we'll talk about it offline. Okay, so the thing is, so Natalie, you said only Sanskrit, or I didn't get it, I'm sorry.
Yeah, you don't need the English.
You don't need the English. All right, let's do that.
You can say the verse number and then just...
Yeah, so tell me where I can find it.
Oh, okay. So now I should... page 394. You have to tell me also which verses they are. I think I know most of them.
Yeah.
Okay. Start. Verses for memorization from Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1:1-2. Sarvopadi vinirmuktam tatparatvena nirmalam hrishikena hrishikesha sevanam bhaktiruchyate. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1:1-11. Anyabhilashita shunyam jnana karmadyanavritam anukulyena krishnanu shilanam bhaktiruttama. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1:2-4. Yena tena prakarena manah Krishne niveshayet sarve vidhi nishedasyur etayoreva kinkara. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1:101. Shruti smriti puranadi pancharatra vidim vina aikantiki harer bhaktir utpatayaiva kalpate. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1:187. Ihayasya harer dasye karmana manasa gira nikhila swapyavastasu jivan mukta sa uchyate. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1:2-3-4. Atah Sri Krishna namadi na bhaved grahyam indriyaihi sevon mukehi jihvadau swayam eva spuratyadaha. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1:2-255-256. Anasaktasya vishayan yatarham upayunjitaha nirbandha krishna sambandhe yuktam vairagyamuchyate. Prapanchikataya bhudya hari sambandhi vastunaha mumukshubhi parityago vairagyam phalgu katyate. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1:4-15-16. Adau shraddha tatha sadhu sangota bhajana kriya tato narta nivritis syat tato nishtaruchistataha atashaktis tato bhavas tatha premabhyudanchati satakanam ayam premnah pradurbhave bhavet kramaha. Okay. The two optional verses are Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1:3-35. Na prema shravanadi bhaktirapi va yogo tava vaishnavo jnanam va shubha karma va kiyadaho sajjatirapyasti va hinartadika sadake tvai tatyapyachedya mula sati he gopi janavallabha vyatayate ha madashaiva mam. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 3:2-35. It's also an optional verse. Kamadinam katina katida palita durnideshas Tesham jata maina karuna natrapanopasantihi utsrijjaitanata yadupate sampratam labda buddhis tvamayatah charanam abhayam mam niyungshvatmadasye. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu, for recording it. Radha Venkat from
Hare Krishna, Radha Prabhu, thank you so much for joining. And I think Mataji might send the MP3. The recording is... Prabhuji? Thank you.
Thank you very much. I got the recording. That's very good.
Radha Prabhu, I didn't get you. I'm sorry. Can you speak little louder? Mataji,
No, the recording is very good. That very much satisfies the needs.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you, Prabhu, for joining. Haribol.
Haribol. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.